Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. I hope you're all doing well. Today we're back with episode 4 of Rachel's Reading Rambles. If you're new around here and you have no idea what we've just clicked on, welcome to the most chaotic video you'll ever see from me. This is a series I do on my channel where I ramble about all my thoughts and feelings I have regarding books I've recently read, bookish things I've recently discovered, things about my channel, basically a miscellaneous thought brain dump which can't fit into any other video, and if I spoke them all in my weekly reading vlogs then they would be a million miles long and you would never watch them. So I decided to compile them all in here and I finally have enough thoughts and feelings to talk to you again in another video. So we're back with episode 4 and I cannot wait. I was actually really uninspired to make videos today. I knew I needed to film something because I haven't got anything for Sunday and I haven't got anything for Tuesday, so I knew I needed to film, but I was feeling really uninspired. I was listening to a podcast this morning which I'll get into more about later on in this video, but basically I am now really inspired to make content again, which is always a great feeling. So in today's video we're going to hit up a massive switcheroo of my May TBR. You are in for a shock relating to that topic. Exciting things coming to my channel very soon. I'm going to share a little bit of insight but not too much, just to keep you on tender hooks but to get you excited like me, because I am so excited to share what I'm working on with you guys. And as you know, I recently reached 1k subscribers and as of this morning I have applied for monetization. So we're also going to be talking about what that kind of entails, how I'm feeling about that and all that sort of stuff, as well as the fear of coming out of lockdown. This is a little bit less bookish and a little bit more lifestyle, but it does include my channel and channel updates. So without further ado, so let's just hop straight into the most chaotic video I'll probably ever film. So yeah, let's. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about is my May TBR, and if you saw my May TBR you'll know how small it is. My TBR game did me well this month. I had 4 books on my May TBR and I was actually feeling pretty confident about them. However, the minute I stepped my foot into May I realised I'm in a mood to read everything bar my May TBR. I am such a reading mood at the minute, but not for the books that are on my TBR, and that's completely normal. That's absolutely fine. I feel like people have this pressure for TBR games to read exactly what you put on your TBR in those videos to not let people down who watch. But if you're in the mood to read other things, you're in the mood to read other things. However, I still include my prompts in the books that I do pick. I just pick other books to fit those prompts. So let's quickly run through what I have been reading and what I am planning to read for the rest of the month that fit in with those May TBR prompts I did pick out with Pin the Tail on the Donkey. If you haven't seen that video, I'll link up above and down below for you guys so you don't miss anything. So when I filmed my May TBR, this book hadn't come out yet and it didn't even cross my mind that I was going to be getting it and pre-ordering it and receiving it and reading it whether the TBR Donkey told me to or not. And that is Heartstopper Volume 4, and this is one of my favourite graphic novel series of all time, one of my favourite series of all time, and of course it's a 5-star prediction. And I have read it and I am correct, it was a 5 stars. So this is taking the place of Writers and Lovers by Lily King, which was on my TBR and which Donkey picked out for me. I might still get around to this, I still do want to read it, but I have technically completed the prompt of 5-star prediction now with Heartstopper Volume 4. The second prompt I got was middle grade, and if you saw my video you know how stressed I was about finding a middle grade and reading a middle grade that I wanted to read, and then Ashley came to the rescue with Murder Most Unladylike by Robin Stephens, which I'm currently halfway through. I started this 2 nights ago now. I'll come back to my thoughts on this one. Yes, but instead of completing the middle grade prompt with this book, I'm completing the middle grade prompt with More Than a Story by Hena, and I have already read this. I read it as an audiobook on Scribd and I fell in love with it. I gave it 4 stars. It was so good. This book just came up on a whim for me. I didn't know what it was about. I'd never heard of it before, so it could technically count as the prompt for never heard about it before, because I really don't want to read that kidney transplant book anymore. I'm not in that YA contemporary mood at the minute. So I may not get around to that one. So More Than a Story could be middle grade or it could be never heard of it before. This is a kind of retelling heavily inspired by Little Woman by Louise Alcott, and it's about 4 Muslim sisters, and our main character Jamel is heavily into writing and journalism and she's part of her school paper, and when a new boy enters town she is tasked to write an article for the newspaper about him, But the newspaper has always been very mundane. It's about school mascots, lunch menus and all that sort of stuff, and Jamelle really wants to take it to the next step. She wants to do more serious issues. She wants to combat more of the serious issues in this world. So she's a bit down in the dumps of having to include this boy in her article, so she tries to switch it around and make it more of a serious topic. But one day her father has to go overseas for a job because their family are struggling with money, and her little sister gets seriously ill. So it's about her trying to make her father proud by this newspaper article, trying to deal with this new massive hurdle that's come in between her and her sister and her family when her sister gets diagnosed with cancer. So it was a really, really good book, and I loved the audiobook. I think the narrator did a brilliant job in bringing the characters to life, and I highly, highly recommend it if you're looking for a middle grade. So I've replaced that book with the middle grade or never heard about it prompt. I thought I read 4 books a month. I've only read 3. And the last book I have finished this month is The Lucky Escape by Laura Jane Williams. This was an e-arc, which I've been approved for a couple of months ago, and it comes out next month in June. I already have pre-ordered the physical copy, but I couldn't wait to get my hands on it, so I did read the e-arc this month, just to get my NetGalley review up and all that sort of stuff. But I loved it. It was so good. And Laura Jane Williams, if you didn't know, is one of my favourite authors, and one of the prompts for my May TBR is favourite author. I did have down for that prompt I Heart Hollywood by Lindsay Kelk, which once again is one of my favourite authors. But whether I'll get to this one, I don't know. I really, really want to, but at the minute it's not drawing me in. I'm not wanting to reread books, so we'll see. So The Lucky Escape is currently taking the position of favourite author because, of course, Laura Jane Williams is one of my favourite authors. Unfortunately, The Lucky Escape is my least favourite book so far of hers, but I still highly recommend it. I still loved it. I gave it 4 stars in total. It was just what I love about Laura Jane Williams is the way she interlinks light-hearted comedy with more serious issues, and this book, The Lucky Escape, is definitely more on the light-hearted end, and I don't feel like she really did a good job in the more serious issues. There weren't many around and all that sort of stuff. So I still really enjoyed it. I loved the romance. But yeah, it's just not my favourite Laura Jane Williams books, but I still really, really enjoyed it and glad I read it. So those are the 3 books I've currently read in May, and a quick wrap up of what I've already read. And I am, like I said I was going to come back to, I am in the middle of Murder Most Unladylike by Robin Stephens, and I'm not loving it. I really don't like it much at all. I am going to finish it just to say that I finished another book, and it is a middle grade, so I can read it so quickly. My plan is actually to finish it this evening, which I'm sure I'll do. I just have over 100 pages left, so I think that's pretty doable, but I'm not loving it. I'm sorry to Ashley, one who gifted it to me, and Emily, because I know she loves this series, and as well as Keris, because I was on Emily's live with Keris and Chloe yesterday, and Keris said that she thought I would like this because I loved Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and that is the reason I did pick it up, but I'm just not vibing with the writing style. I find Daisy our kind of secondary main character because you follow the perspective of Hazel, but Daisy is her best friend. Daisy is so annoying, and even Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin has read this and said that Daisy bullies Hazel quite a lot, and she does, and I don't like that relationship. I'm not here for it. I think it's very toxic, and yeah, I'm not vibing with this story. End of. That's kind of what my May TBR is looking at the minute. I'm also in the middle of listening to another audiobook because, once again, not only am I in a mood reading kind of mood, I'm also in an audiobook mood. I don't know why, what it is, but I'm liking audiobooks again, which I have massive phases with. Sometimes I'll love audiobooks and read a lot, and sometimes I will not touch audiobooks for months, and I'm in a audiobook mood. So the other book I am listening to at the minute is Unicorn, a memoir of a Muslim drag queen by Amrou Al-Kadhi, and I am loving this. This is so good as well. They narrate their own story so well. It is about Amrou Al-Kadhi as they grow up in a Muslim environment and being in a very strict religious household, and being seen as gay is a sin. So they're trying to come to terms with that from a really young age of 10 years old, and so far I'm loving it. And yeah, I'm not too far in it. I'm only about an hour and a half into the audiobook, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And yeah, that is the last bit of the May TBR that I wanted to update you on. What a chaotic energy. I've been talking too much already. Talking too much already. So into the next section I want to discuss. Obviously I said at the beginning of the video that I was kind of not excited to film this, and then I was listening to a podcast. It kind of re-inspired me But not only did that inspire me, I was also on a massive high with YouTube because I did hit monetization today. If you didn't know and you don't know the backgrounds of YouTube, to basically become monetized, which means you can start making money off your channel, you have to have over 1,000 subscribers and over 4,000 watch hours, and you have to do it within like a year time span. And I did it, and it's all thanks to you guys, because without you watching all these videos that I'm making, watch hours wouldn't go up and I wouldn't be able to apply for monetization. And this is such a massive step for my channel, and I'm so grateful to all of you for your support and your comments. I put it on Instagram and Twitter already this morning, and everyone is sending so much love, and I just love this community so much. I'm so happy I get to be a part of it. I'm so grateful that I decided to create the channel in the first place. One thing that lockdown did bring was this channel and so many new amazing friends, and yeah, I am just feeling in a very inspired, grateful mood today because I hit monetization, and it's just such a lovely feeling that kind of my hard work's paid off. YouTube kind of subconsciously or not makes you work towards that. It's like the YouTube hurdle that you have to get across. However, yes, I'm inspired, and yes, I'm so excited to keep making content, but it's kind of like you're at the end of the road now. Like, what do you do after this? Like, YouTube don't set you any more goals. Like, I did have it as a goal because I want YouTube to be something that I can do for a longer period of time. I love it. I love doing it. I love editing. I've always loved editing, to be fair, because I grew up editing like family videos, and then I went off to college to edit and learn about like actual film editing. So I've always loved editing, but because I no longer do that, YouTube was an outlet for me to edit. And I'm a graphic designer. I love being creative. So YouTube was like the perfect creative outlet that allowed me to do it all in one space. And yeah, I'm just so grateful. I've lost my train of thought. This is what Rachel's reading rambles is like because I just go off on so many tangents, I lose my train of thought. But yeah, YouTube gives you that kind of hurdle and that end goal. You have to do 1,000 subscribers and you have to get to 4,000 watch hours to then make your channel something better, in air quotes. It won't be better if you're monetized or not monetized, but that's what YouTube makes you think. And it's that like finish line that you've now done it. Like, I've got those 2 green checks, I can apply for monetization, and it's just like a what now sensation. It's a bit like what I felt this morning was a bit like finishing my exams or handing in my last essay for the last year of uni and just being like, what now? Like, for the last couple of weeks I had that goal in mind. I had that I want to get to 4,000 watch hours so I can like get that green tick and apply for monetization, and that's kind of now done. So I'm just like a bit like, what now? So I was listening to the podcast, which is, I highly recommend, by the way, We're Spinning Plates by Em and Kira, both booktubers. I'll link them both down below. Kira Foster and A Little Writer Em. I speak about A Little Writer Em a lot of times. This is actually one of her favourite books of 2020. We did a whole video collaboration together. However, their podcast is a lot more lifestyle-esque, and today they were talking about how, as they evolve themselves, how their channel needs to evolve, and if you're not passionate about the content you're creating, your viewers won't want to stay interested, and therefore your channel has to evolve as you evolve and change. And it kind of really struck a chord with me because I love creating booktube content. Like, I still love doing my TBR games. They're still one of my favourite things to film. Like, I love doing my vlog style wrap-ups. I feel like I finally found my groove in booktube, and I think I finally figured out like what I'm known for, because I feel like every booktuber is known for something, and I feel like I'm known for come bookshop with me videos, my crazy TBR games that I do monthly, and yeah, I feel like I'm finally becoming like truly a part of the community, and I love it. So this is not like I'm switching up my content completely, and it got me thinking. I've always had it in the back of my mind that I want this channel to be more than books, but books is such an easy thing for me to talk about because I spend my entire life reading books and buying books. It's just such an easily creatable content for me. And when I think of ideas, because I think of loads of video ideas that are not book related, like productivity stuff, like I would love to do a Notion tour. I would love to show you guys like my morning routines and how I stay productive, and how I plan a month, a week, a day, and then schedule all that in so I can be as productive as possible, because everyone always comments being like, I don't get how you can be so productive, and I'd love to show you like my tips and tricks and how I do that. But I just feel like because I'm known for books now, it's harder for me to narrow into another area of YouTube. I love and always have loved productivity YouTubers and study tubers like Holly Gabrielle, Unjaded Jade, Lydia Votella, I think is how you pronounce her name, Jack, although I've gone off Jack since he started a booktube channel because I'm just like, this is our territory, you know, the tea. And yeah, I'm actually really worried that I've been talking for 20 minutes and I'm on my lunch break and I need to eat food.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Jesus Christ, that scared out of me. Siri, stop stalking me. So yeah, I've always felt like I've wanted to do that sort of content, but never felt like it would be well received on my channel because I'm known for books. So let me know if you'd be willing to see that content. Would you be interested in that content? I do want to start doing it, but it just takes a lot more time as well than sitting in front of my camera and rambling about books for half hour, because it needs like montages and it needs setups and it needs like proper thoughtful like planning out. And I am starting to get more into the planning process of my videos rather than just turning on the camera and seeing what turns out. I am now planning what I want to say, I'm planning how I want to edit it, I'm planning on the thumbnails, like taking a lot more time in the pre-production and the post-production in creating my content. So I'm hoping that kind of comes across. But yeah, it's just one of those things I just want to delve into, but I'm kind of not sure how it's going to be received. But Em and Kira are so right that if you start losing passion for the videos you create, the viewers aren't going to interact with you and you're going to start losing the viewership that you had. So I don't obviously want to, I haven't lost passion for booktube, that's not what I'm saying, but I don't want that passion to go, and therefore I want to start stepping out of just book content. Like I'm planning this really, I'm hoping, really insightful bullet journal video where you guys ask me questions. I'm flipping, this is a massive insight by the way, it's hopefully coming soon. I keep pushing it back because it's taking me longer to plan than expecting, because work is really busy at the minute. I'm still trying to keep up with normal booktube content, I'm still trying to read and all that sort of stuff, so it's taking me longer to plan than anticipated, so I keep pushing it back. But I'm basically taking the questions that you guys asked me about my bullet journal, how I stay consistent, what my favorite spreads are, how I started, kind of what pens I use, what journals I use, all these questions I've accumulated that you guys have asked me, and I'm flipping through from the original bullet journal that I created in 2016 and I'm going all the way up to 2021, showing you guys how I've evolved, how I stay consistent, all my tips and tricks. So it will include a lot of montages, it will include a lot of b-roll, it will include a lot of voiceovers, it will include a lot of flip throughing and me just sitting and talking to you guys. So it's taking a lot of planning and brain power and editing and all that sort of stuff to get together, but I'm so excited for it. I think it's going to be a really, really good video and I want it to be good. So I'm taking my time with it. So it is coming, I promise. I keep tweeting about it being like, I'm pushing it back, but it is coming, I promise. So yeah, that's kind of the direction my channel is kind of veering into. Obviously still like 80% bookish, 10% bullet journal, 10% lifestyle. That's kind of my plan, and with England easing out of lockdown, I think this is a better course for me because I do have a social life. I may be a massive introvert, but I do have a social life. I need a drink. I'm very like... But I do have a social life. I do love going to spin. That it's not just in my spare bedroom with my bike. I do want to get out of the house and go to spin classes and be in that environment again. I do want to go on holidays with my friends. I do want to go on holiday with my boyfriend, like when the world starts opening up again. And in England, we are very, very grateful that we are in a good situation and we are slowly easing out of lockdown. I think restaurants and spin studios and all that sort of stuff are opening up later this week, I think, or even it might have already opened by the time you see this video. And I'm just so excited to start living again. Like, I love lockdown, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've not enjoyed, obviously, COVID, but I've enjoyed what it's enabled me to do, and that's get... like it's been now, basically I've been able to find myself. I've been able to find my passion, which is YouTube. I've been able to really focus on spin, which is my passion outside of books, and I want to become a spin instructor. It's really, I feel like this past year and a bit I've really evolved as myself, and I've evolved as the person I want to become, and I can see this person that I've created during lockdown in the future. Like, I can see myself. I'm so proud of who I've become the last year of lockdown. And I don't know why I'm getting emotional about this, but yeah, lockdown hasn't been all bad for me. It's been a really, really good growing area of my life, a growing period of my life, I should say. And I want that person to continue out of lockdown as well. And that means being more social and seeing my friends. All my friends live everywhere now. Since creating booktube, I've met people up in Scotland, in Bristol, down in like I don't know, there's places, Brighton, like I've met people across the country and in other countries as well, like Jess from Books Past Bedtime, Mare from Mare Reads, like I've met people across America and England and Ireland and Scotland, and I've met so many people, and I obviously still have my friends from not BookTube, so people who now live up north and who live in central London, and all my friends are scattered, whereas when I was younger all my friends lived in my hometown, so I could see them a lot more easily. I could just be like, hey, you want to go to the park? Whereas now I have to like plan weekends, I have to plan time off work, I have to like properly schedule time. And I have 3 really exciting, hopefully plans that are happening later this year. I'm hoping to get a UK getaway in with my boyfriend, either going up to Bath or down just in nature to just escape for a little bit. We're hoping to get an Airbnb and hopefully go somewhere, which would be lovely. I'm hoping to see some of my BookTube friends soon as well. You know who you are. And I really want to go to Disneyland Paris with my friend Katie, who I met in Disney through my cultural exchange program. We've always said we wanted to go to Disney together, and although we were in Disney together, it was very rare that we had the same days off or the same hours so we could spend time together in Disney. So we're hoping to go to Disneyland Paris in October. And obviously all those social plans will hopefully happen, and that means I will have less time to edit and read and upload and schedule videos and do all the BookTube stuff. So I know I'm rambling about this for ages, but I just want to get it all off my chest and just explain it all to you guys. I most likely will be going down to 1 video a week, and you know what? Why is there a pressure to create more than that? If that's what your lifestyle is, if that's what all you can create is 1 video a week, make that video the best fucking video you can make it, and just make it so good that people want to keep coming back, even if it is only once a week. And yes, there'll probably be more vlogs as well, because it's easier to find time to film a clip for 5 minutes or quickly do a quick montage while you're making dinner than sit down and plan an entire video like this that's going to take you, I'm being recording for 26 minutes. It's like it's more like itty bitty, it's more doable, in my personal opinion anyway, to film a vlog. So most likely when the world has gone back to normal, this is probably most likely end of 2021, beginning of 2022 by the way. So we still have a full summer of proper like videos where I can spend time, because I'm not actually due back into the office until September. So probably from September onwards, when I do have to go back to the studio commuting, because it takes me an hour to commute there and then I commute an hour back, and that's with no traffic. So it's all gonna be a new juggling act. I know this has been very, even in my mind I'm like, I'm going all over the place, but yeah, it's gonna be a juggling act when the world gets back to normal, and I am aware of that and I'm ready for that. But I'm a person who hates change. I can't do change. When we first went into lockdown, I found it really difficult, and I feel like it's just going to be just as difficult transitioning out of lockdown and when things reopen, and trying to find this new routine. I'm very much a routine person. I have got my morning routine down now. I like my 3-hour morning routine. I want it to stay, but when I go back to the office, that is physically not possible unless I wake up at 4, and 4 is a little bit too early for me. I can do 5, but 4 o'clock in the morning is a no-go. I can't do 4 o'clock in the morning. So that means changing up my entire morning routine. That means now my lunch breaks aren't free to film like I'm doing now, and my evenings are now more consumed with exercising, so I won't be able to do that in the mornings, and filming, because I won't be able to do that during the day at lunch breaks. So there's a whole major change in the distance that I'm a little bit frightened of, and that is absolutely fine. It's okay to be scared of coming out of lockdown. It's okay to feel a bit iffy about being in public again, because I know England have announced that we can hug people from the 17th of May. I think it's the 17th of May. So hugging is just this whole new concept. Like, what the hell is hugging? So you know what I mean? Like, it's okay to feel indifferent about this, and I am definitely feeling different. I am appreciative that my life has stayed pretty much the same during this entire year and a bit. My parents have struggled a little bit by losing their jobs and all that sort of stuff because they've been in catering, so it's been a bit difficult family-wise. But for me, on a personal level, I have grown a lot, and I have appreciated the time that I've been able to spend on myself and develop myself and find my passions and find where I want to go in life. I now have a 10-year plan, which I didn't have at the beginning of 2020. So you know what, like, I appreciate lockdown for what it is, and I know I wasn't going to be talking, I didn't expect to be talking about lockdown, but that's what Rachel Reading Rambles kind of entails. But yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy the future content. I just remembered I was going to tell you one more thing. Future content aside, with lifestyle and all that sort of stuff, and obviously books will be included, that's a no-go. Books are still going to be a massive part of my life, but I will be reading less because I won't have as much time, because I want to be social. I want to do all the things that I used to do, like go to cinema on the weekends and spin on the evenings and still speak to my friends and see my friends. And so there's a whole balancing act, which I've mentioned, so I won't ramble about that again. But joking aside and stuff, I still love booktube, and it is still going to be predominantly what I do because I love it, and I'm so happy I love it, and I'm so happy that I haven't lost interest in this past year of creating content, because my boyfriend, I don't think, ever believed in me. I sound that bad. Sounds fair. Mark, if you're watching, I know you believe in me. You're my #1 cheerleader. You support me through everything that I do and I decide to do. But I feel like he knows me, and he knows that I give up very, very easily. I don't have like the perseverance trait in me. I give up as soon as it gets difficult. And I had a close call when I reached like 400 subscribers. I almost gave up on YouTube, and it makes me sad thinking about it because I stuck it out, which I'm so proud of myself for, and it's made me this amazing thing, and I'm so proud of what I've been able to create with a camera and a tripod and my face, basically, and a few books thrown in here and there. See, I've lost my train of thought again. But yeah, so booktube. Anyway, wow, tangents. But the last thing I wanted to mention, and the last thing I wanted to leave you on, so don't worry, you won't have to stay around and listen to me ramble on 50 million things, is an exciting announcement. I'm going to make a whole announcement video closer to the time of the announcement, but I just wanted to sprinkle a little bit of interest in there. And I am thinking, do I say it? I should say it. Because I've got the name down, I just need to design stuff. Some of you watching this already know what I'm about to reveal, but some of you may not, and I want to share it with you because I'm so excited, and it's definitely something that I want to include and broaden my community, basically, and that is a book club. I've been thinking to be honest, this idea has come very, very quickly to me, and I am now stuck on that train. I want to do it. So I'm powering through, and I'm creating what I want to create, which is what I love about booktube and YouTube. You can just create what you want to create. And that is, for me, a book club. I'm so excited. You guys know I love contemporary and chick lit and romance and all that sort of stuff. And for a while I felt guilty for loving that sort of genre, because it's not like the most articulate, it's not a classic, it's not these like real well-developed worlds of fantasy, and I did feel guilty for a while enjoying that sort of content in books. And you know what, I'm past that. I don't care what anyone else thinks anymore. So I'm creating a contemporary romance book club inspired by the book that got me into reading, inspired by one of my favourite authors. I'm only going to give you guys the name and kind of when to expect the announcement. I'm not going to give you any more than that because I think just giving the name is a massive step, but I'm 100% decided on the name, so that won't change. So I feel like I can tell you, whereas I'm still trying to brand it and design it and stuff, which will laterly come in the announcement when I do all the graphics and stuff for it. But my book club is going to be called, I feel like this is going to be so anticlimactic, but it's going to be called Books and Me. What do you guys think? Do you like it? I personally love it because it's inspired by one of my favourite books of all time, Billy and Me by Giovanna Fletcher. This is one of my favourite books of all time. It is the second book I ever read when I got into reading, and I've reread it pretty much every year. And I haven't reread it this year yet. If you get what I mean, you got what I mean. So that is a really, really exciting announcement. So be ready for that. I'm so, so excited to announce it officially and get rolling with it. It'll be monthly. We'll have a contemporary or romance book monthly to read together. But the rest of the details, you will have to stay tuned for. Subscribe so you don't miss the announcement video. And yeah, I think that wraps up my 4th Rachel's Reading Rambles. I really, really hope you enjoyed this one. It's been very much more lifestyle, but also very bookish. I actually really enjoyed sitting down and talking to you guys because I haven't done this in a while. I feel like when I sit down and talk like this in a weekly reading vlog, I feel like I still subconsciously have to make it short because I have to remember that I'm doing multiple days. It's going to accumulate to a really long vlog. So I want to continue making them. I know it's been a while since my 3rd one, but I felt like I finally had enough to talk to you guys about to make it a worthwhile a video, and I hope you enjoyed the contents of it. Without further ado, I will leave you guys. Make sure you comment below any of your thoughts and feelings on where my channel's gonna go, what your thoughts are on YouTube and booktube, what your thoughts are on my May TBR, because obviously that's completely gone out the window. It feels ages ago that I spoke about my May TBR, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, I'll leave you to it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a massive thumbs up for me. It really helps out my channel. Subscribe down below to see future content from me, and so you don't miss that announcement video that's coming very, very soon. And without further ado, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.